All right, everyone, good morning. Today, I'm going to try to build a sleeping platform in the back of my Lexus GX470. Now, I have no woodworking skills or anything like that. I'm only building it based on impressions I got from other people's videos and different forum posts. So, yeah, let's see what we can make today, and you'll get to see the finished product of someone with very basic measuring skills and very basic woodworking skills, what we can make today. So let's go. Before I bought the wood, I determined that we needed to be about 3 feet deep in order to meet up with the seats while they're up. Now, I don't want to have to take this sleeping platform out. I want to be able to have my 3 middle row seats. So I made sure that it would fit back here. And as you can see, when the seats are folded back, they're about at the 3 foot mark to make it to here. So we got 3 uprights. This is 3 foot long. So this is just a 2x10 piece from Home Depot. We have an extra, I think this is about a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch plywood. So what we're working with is about 11 inches tall. And if you look here, we're at about 11 inches. So this sleeping platform should start right here and be pretty even with the back of the seats and come back here. Now, we have slept in the back of the GX fairly comfortably before, but I'm 6'3" or 6'2" and 3/4 according to the doctor. And we had the seats folded up, and my feet were hitting the chairs and stuff, so I kind of had to sneak my feet, on the other side and everything, and it just wasn't working for me. So I figured that having the sleeping platform will give me all the space I'll need to stretch out and everything, and it will also provide a place for us to store things under the floor. So it just seemed like the best option for camping, and I think it'll make a really good addition to the truck without adding too much weight of a rooftop tent and the top heaviness that comes with that when off-roading. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to start out by just sanding down some of the rough edges. I got 120 grit sandpaper, and apparently my dogs are going to help me, so let's go.
In our case, we weren't really looking to get a perfectly smooth finish. We just noticed that there were some splinters left over from the saw at Home Depot. So what we're doing here is really just protection for the inside of the vehicle so we don't get any splinters digging into the carpets or into the interior plastics. After we were done sanding, we did a test fit to see what we were looking like.
Okay, so we're just mocking everything up right now. This is all in here loose. And an issue we ran into, if my wife can go ahead and put the seat up. When we try to put the seat up, it pushes on here into there. So we're gonna go ahead and lop these off and do a little bit more measuring and kind of just get a feel for where we want it to sit. And then we'll go from there. So we're really just taking you along for the ride here. There's no professionalism happening here. We're just kind of figuring it out as we go.
As you can see, we didn't go into this project knowing exactly what the measurements would turn out being. Rather, we went to Home Depot knowing some basic information that allowed us to get wood that would fit in the vehicle, knowing full well that we would need to adjust the wood according to our needs. Here we're just cutting off the corners and sanding down to make sure we don't damage anything.
Right, there's the finished product of getting the corners off. Now, it certainly ain't pretty, but it'll work for us, I guess. Sure, it'll be covered with carpet. So let's just keep going with this and see what other hackery we can engage in. After a bit of measuring, we kind of have everything in place. There is going to be a center support here, but we haven't put that in yet because it's not really necessary. And our plan to fill in the gap here is pretty interesting. What we're gonna do is we have this 1 foot piece that's going to have its home right here. So it'll sit like this, but we're actually gonna put hinges. So when we're ready to sleep, we'll just put it over like this, 180 degrees. It will rest on these wood pieces on either end. And it will meet up like that. So it's a nice and flat sleeping area. And then over that, we'll just have our mattress, and that'll be all. So I drilled my pilot holes already. I went around and measured a bunch of times, just, you know, adjusted slightly here and there, and made sure all these gaps are even and everything, and all running along here. I drilled my pilot holes, so now it's time to just start drilling, and then we'll see how it goes. So let's give it a go. Perfect. That's nice and flat, and that's not going anywhere. So let's hope I can do the rest of them that well.
When I was pretty sure that the structure was the way I wanted it, I drilled 4 screws in to make sure that it didn't move while we were trying to carpet.
I just got everything in place, and am pleasantly surprised that the whole operation came out. And now I'm going to fine tune a couple things, including this corner, which gets a bit close to here for comfort. So I'm just going to, you know, lop off a little bit of extra. This is not meant to be a beauty contest winner for sure. So I'm okay with that, and it's going to be carpeted over as well. Let's keep going. The next step is going to be make whatever adjustments I want, check them back in the car once more, and then we're going to cover this top portion with some carpet. Let's go.
I got a little ahead of myself there. We first need to add the center support board. So we took the remaining 2x10, found our center point, slid it underneath, did some additional measuring, and then we added some screws in there. And we also added some screws to the outer ones as well, just to make sure everything was nice and secure. We were gonna add brackets, but after testing this piece, once the center support was in there, we determined that was unnecessary.
Okay, so we're starting the carpeting now that we have this beautiful unit finished. Like I said, it ain't super pretty, but it will work. Now we're just going to lay it down with this flat side down on the carpet, so we can fold the edges of the carpet over and staple gun them in.
We started carpeting by laying the sleeping platform face down on the carpet that we rolled out for it. We started on the side that was closest to the door just to make sure we got everything right. We worked it around each one of the 3 supports carefully and stapled them in place, which would give us a nice base from which we could stretch it around the rest of it.
All right, so we've got everything roughly cut out. We made little T-cuts here so they kind of fit around. And now my wife is gonna do some stapling. Okay, and we're off. That is the first staple of carpeting anything ever for me, so. All right, so she folded it kind of underneath like that, so we get a nice clean finish, and that's looking pretty good. Nice. So there's the finished product. 1, 2, 3, and we're just folding the other side down.
Just going to tighten it as much as possible.
Yeah. All right, that's the first one done.
Couple of reinforcements.
She has more woodworking experience than me because she's an architecture student, and all they do is play with wood models all day, so.
It's not all we do.
Trying to get this nice and flat. No, you can need a little more. Roll it over more on the far side. Yeah, there you go. Nice and tight. Danger. that's pretty much it. We're just gonna keep going around these three. And then once we have these three ready to go, like kind of looking like that, we're going to get everything ready to glue. So these all need to be in place, so we're doing them first. And then we're going to put a bunch of glue on the other side so everything sticks. Then we'll clean up the rest. We have this side kind of done, ready to go. Now we're gonna start gluing on the other side. All right, so we put the glue down, and it's looking okay, but we're going to turn it back over carpet side down so we can finish bringing everything around, and also give the glue a chance to dry on a flatter surface. 1, 2, 3. They just hold it tight. Cool. Well, that worked out.
So here we're basically just pulling the carpet as tight as we can and repeating the same process that we did on the front side of the sleeping platform. We're cutting those little T notches in the carpet, feeding it around the supports, and stapling.
All right, we are done stapling around the edges here. I don't know if you can see that really good on camera, but not too bad. Nice and tight up against it. Now let's see how it turned out on the other side. Nice and flat. And hopefully the glue has dried. So this is looking pretty good. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, the carpet feels good.
Right? Go on it.
No. Oh yeah.
This is not too, I mean, I can almost sit up. Honey, it's perfect.
Plenty of room for my feet. I'm tall, so this I can just move the front seats forward a little bit, and I'm good to sleep for the night. This is way better than before. Awesome. So we have the makings of a nice little sleeping platform. You can store plenty of stuff down under here. I may make another video of building drawers, but for now this will work for sleeping. The only thing we have left to do is get some hinges for this guy. And then it'll rotate up around like this and rest itself on these wood ends right here. Like that. Then we have ourselves a pretty solid platform. We'll show you the rest later. All right, it's another day, another location, and we're all packed up, ready to go on a trip soon. And the sleeping platform is looking awesome. Now we're gonna finish up this last piece, which is gonna fold over on top of the back seats. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Really not too much of a plan for this whole thing. You know, this just worked for us. So, you know, if you have any other ideas, definitely add them to your to-do list when you put your sleeping platform together. But this will probably just give you a good idea of what you could do. All right, let's get to stapling.
In this time lapse, we're simply folding the carpet over and stapling the ends and folding over the corners. All right, well, we have everything measured out to what we think will be a good spot for it to be. Nothing left to do now except for just zzz, zzz, and see if it works out. Now, I'm not going to show you that because I'm pretty sure the first try is going to be a disaster, so you'll see it when it's nice and finished. All right, so good thing we didn't hit the seats. I didn't even think about that. We're clear though. So we'll cut this off, but this is what it's basically gonna work like. It's gonna hinge up here. Look at it's nice and flat to store things on, and then we want to sleep. It's gonna come right over. All we have to do is line it up, and it'll come down like that. So in the future, when hardware stores are actually open, when we don't go shopping for hardware on Thanksgiving, we don't have to use things that are just laying around the garage. We'll put some on the outside as well, just to make it a little more stable back and forth. But for now, this will work great. So, discovered that we've gone a little far through the fabric. Luckily, didn't hit the seats like I said before, but I figured out a way to get rid of them. And it doesn't involve any saws or anything. Just hammer.
Going back and forth a few times.
And you'll feel it let go. And I hope it works. I think it works. I was thinking this was going to be a really tough time getting rid of those excess screw ends, but that seemed to work out pretty well. So it might be a good trick for you if you decide to make this type of thing. This is how you load your stuff in. And then to sleep. Boom, just like that. Plenty of leg room. And check out our camp spot in beautiful Alabama Hills, California. I think one of my favorite parts about this sleeping platform is that it's at the level where when I wake up, I'm looking straight out the window at the view right here. There's Mount Whitney right there. I think that's the tallest peak in North America. And this spot was incredible. The sleeping platform ended up working out very well. We slept through the night. It was nice and level and even with the rear seat. Our legs had plenty of room, and we had just an overall great trip. So thanks for watching the video, guys. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I try to answer pretty much everybody.
Am I gonna slip into that hole?
Left.
Can I keep it on the back?
No, you're good.
That was a little bit.